Namaste, myself Triveni Khurana, Assistant Professor, Faculty Physiotherapy and Diagnostics, JV in Rajasthan. Today we are going to discuss about assessment and principles of therapeutic management of tibial nerve palsy. Before going to tibial nerve palsy, let's look about the anatomical course of tibial nerve. The tibial nerve is a branch of the sciatic nerve and arises at the apex of popliteal fossa. It travels through the popliteal fossa, giving off branches to the muscles in the superficial posterior compartment of the leg. Tibial nerve also gives rise to branches that contribute toward the sural nerve, which innervates the posterolateral aspect of the leg. The tibial nerve continues its course down the leg, posterior to the tibia. During its descent, it supplies the deep muscles of the posterior leg. At the foot, the nerve passes posteriorly and inferiorly to the medial malleolus through a structure known as tarsal tunnel. This tunnel is covered superiorly by the flexor retinaculum. Within this tunnel, branches arises from the tibial nerve to supply cutaneous innervation to the heel. Immediately distal to the tarsal tunnel, the tibial nerve terminates by dividing into sensory branches, which innervates the sole of foot. The tibial nerve innervates the muscles of the posterior leg and the majority of the intrinsic foot muscles. The muscles of the posterior compartment of leg are organized into a superficial and deep compartment. They are all innervated by tibial nerve. Superficial muscles are plantaris, that causes plantar flexion of the ankle, soleus, that causes plantar flexion of the ankle, and gastrocnemius, that causes flexion of the knee and plantar flexion of the ankle. Deep muscles are popliteus, which unlocks the knee by laterally rotating the femur on the tibia. Flexor hallucis longus muscle, that flex the great toe and plantar flexion at the ankle. Flexor digitorum longus muscle, causing flexion of digits 2nd to 5 and plantar flexion at ankle. Tibialis posterior muscle causes inversion of foot and plantar flexion at ankle. Now let's look about intrinsic foot. The medial and lateral plantar branches of tibial nerve provide innervation to all the intrinsic muscles of the foot except extensor digitorum brevis, which is innervated by the deep fibular nerve. In the popliteal fossa, the tibial nerve gives off cutaneous branches. These combine with branches from the common fibular nerve to form sural nerve. This sensory nerve innervates the skin of posterolateral side of the leg and lateral side of the foot. The tibial nerve also supplies all the sole of the foot via 3 branches. Medial calcaneal branch, which arises within the tarsal tunnel and innervates the skin over the heel. Second, medial plantar nerve, which innervates the plantar surface of the medial 3.5 digits and the associated sole area. Third is lateral plantar nerve, which innervates the plantar surface of the lateral 1.5 digits and the associated sole area. Now, what is the mechanism of injury to tibial nerve? There are traumatic, direct or indirect trauma, and most commonly to the distal tibia or ankle. Overuse, compression, mass lesion, example varicosity, synovial thickening, ganglionic cyst, exostosis, accessory flexor digitorum longus, varicose vein, overpronation, rear foot valgus deformity, muscular hypertrophy, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes. Now there are some risk factors along with nerve injury, and these are walking and running, high impact sports, climbing stairs, hiking, obesity, diabetes, and individuals with hypertension. Now, what is the causes? Direct trauma, pressure on the nerve for a long period of time, pressure on the nerve from nearby body structures. Damage may destroy the myelin sheath that protects and insulates the nerve or part of the nerve cell, the axon. This damage reduces or prevents the movement of impulses through the nerve. The tibial nerve is often injured by the pressure from a ligament on the inner part of the ankle. Injury or disease of structures near the knee may also damage the tibial nerve. Tibial nerve may also be affected by disease that damage many nerves such as diabetes. Now the symptoms related to tibial nerve injury, they are sensation changes in the bottom of the foot and toes, including burning sensation, numbness, tingling, and other abnormal sensation or pain. Weakness of foot muscles, weakness of toes or ankle, an ankle that rolls inwards. There are some possible complications of injury. These are deformity of the foot, which may be mild up to severe, movement loss in the toes, which may be partial or complete, repeated or unnoticed injury to the leg, sensation loss in the toes or foot, which may be partial or complete, arthritis of the ankle or foot, inability to walk due to pain, muscle atrophy due to foot immobilization following treatment, and emotional stress that can affect quality of life. Now, how to examine nerve injury? Tests for tibial nerve dysfunction may include EMG, nerve biopsy, nerve conduction test, ultrasound, MRI. An examination of leg will be done to diagnose tibial nerve dysfunction. The healthcare provider will also take a medical history. Signs include inability to curl the toe, push the foot down, twist the ankle inward, weakness, and in severe cases the foot muscles may become very weak and foot may be deformed. Now, what should be the treatment protocol? The treatment of tibial nerve injury is undertaken based on the severity of condition and assessment of the signs and symptoms. The condition is often treatable without surgery. The following measures may be used in the treatment of tibial nerve injury are reduction of pain and swelling, applying ice to the sore area, taking non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication, rest, avoiding running or playing high-impact sports until the affected leg heals, providing foot support, ankle brace to support the damaged tendon around the ankle joint, custom orthotics to improve one's posture. Immobilization of the foot for 6 to 8 weeks may be recommended in some cases. However, this may lead to muscle atrophy. If tibial nerve injury is severe and doesn't resolve using the above non-surgical treatment methods, then the following invasive surgical procedures may be necessary. These are lengthening of the calf muscle, removing damaged tendon area, replacing the posterior tibial tendon with another tendon, cutting and moving bones, that is osteotomy, and joint fusion to correct flat foot. What is the physiotherapy treatment for tibial nerve injury? These may include range of motion exercises for hip flexion, extension, abduction, adduction. Range of motion exercises for knee flexion and extension. Range of motion exercises for ankle eversion. range of motion exercises for ankle inversion, range of motion exercises for ankle dorsiflexion, also active assisted exercises for ankle dorsiflexion, stretching of calf muscle, stretching of hamstring muscle, stretching of gastrocnemius muscle, stretching of soleus muscle, strengthening exercises for hip and knee flexion and extension, strengthening exercises for dorsiflexors, ankle eversion and ankle inversions. Other modalities include ball therapy, electric stimulation, ultrasound and iontophoresis. Now, how we prevent tibial nerve injury? By reducing the risk of blunt force injury that can occur from fall or high impact sports. Next, by using protective sports gear while participating in high impact sports. Next, excessively exercising without appropriate recovery may result in damage to the muscle, tendon and nerves of the leg, particularly to the posterior tibial tendon, and this can increase the risk of tibial nerve dysfunction. So, one should prevent exercise. Thus, limiting overuse and damage to the posterior tibial nerve tendon during the following activities can help. These activities are excessive walking and running, climbing stairs, long hikes without rest. Healthcare provider can recommend the correct amount and duration of exercise and techniques for performing the same correctly. Now, what is the prognosis for tibial nerve dysfunction? The prognosis of tibial nerve dysfunction when diagnosed and treated early is usually very good, with a complete recovery expected in a majority of individuals. In some cases, there may be a partial or total loss of sensation or mobility in the foot. Nerve pain may cause discomfort and last for a long period of time. Now let's discuss about tarsal tunnel syndrome. Tarsal tunnel syndrome is a condition in which tibial nerve is being compressed. This is the nerve in the ankle that allow feeling and movement to parts of the foot. Tarsal tunnel syndrome can lead to numbness, tingling, weakness or muscle damage, mainly in the bottom of the foot. Tarsal tunnel syndrome is an unusual form of peripheral neuropathy. It occurs when there is damage to the tibial nerve. The area in the foot where the nerve enters the back of the ankle is called tarsal tunnel. This tunnel is normally narrow. When the tibial nerve is compressed, it results in the symptoms of tarsal tunnel syndrome. Pressure on the tibial nerve may be due to any of the following: swelling from an injury such as sprained ankle or nearby tendon, an abnormal growth such as bone spur, lump in the joint, that is ganglion cyst, and swollen, that is varicose vein. Flat feet or high arch may cause tibial nerve damage. Body weight of systemic diseases such as diabetes, low thyroid function and arthritis also pressurize tibial nerve, and in some cases no cause can be found. Symptoms includes sensation changes in the bottom of the foot and toes, including burning sensation, numbness, tingling and other abnormal sensations. Pain in the bottom of the foot and toes, weakness of foot muscles, weakness of toes or ankle. In severe cases, the foot muscles are very weak and foot can be deformed. During examination, healthcare provider may find following signs and symptoms. Symptoms by asking patient. Signs and symptoms are inability to curl the toes, push the foot down, twist ankle inward, weakness in the ankle, foot and toe. And other tests may include EMG, nerve biopsy and nerve conduction test. Now what should be the treatment? Treatment depends on the cause of symptoms. Healthcare provider will likely suggest first resting, putting ice on the ankle and avoid activities that causes symptoms. Over-the-counter pain medicine such as massage may help relieve pain and swelling. If symptoms are caused by foot problems such as feet, custom orthotics or brace may be prescribed. Physical therapy may help strengthen the foot muscles and improve flexibility. Steroid injection into ankle may be needed. Surgery to enlarge the tarsal tunnel or transfer the nerve may help reduce pressure on the tibial nerve. What is the prognosis for this? Full recovery is possible if the cause of tarsal tunnel syndrome is found and successfully treated. Some people may have a partial or complete loss of movement or sensation. Nerve pain may be uncomfortable and last for a long time. Complications: if untreated, tarsal tunnel syndrome may lead to deformity of foot, movement loss in toe, and repeated or unnoticed injury to leg and sensation loss in the toes or foot. Thank you.